Thinking of buying or selling in the next 6 months? Jump straight to my tailored advice, but if you're here for the big picture, let's dive in and crunch the numbers. Here's the big picture in this uncertain market. Sellers are competing against an influx of inventory, and the wrong choices could be costing them tens of thousands of dollars. We ended April with almost 2,000 homes on the market, and it's the highest inventory levels we've seen for this time of the year in a decade. In this market, who you work with matters more than ever. Work with a realtor who understands the macro and micro dynamics of Waterloo region and who has the experience to navigate these unpredictable times. Let's start with number of homes sold. 595 to be exact. That's a 29% jump from March, which we'd expect heading into spring. So yes, buyers are still out there, but they're just a little more reserved right now. The average sale price for all residential properties in Waterloo region was just under $790,000. This kind of sideways movement tells me the market's trying to find its footing. The thing that's surprising is looking at townhomes. Townhomes are actually down 7% compared to last year at this time, and they're pretty much the same they were last month. And apartment style condos, they've kind of been going through a wave with tons of inventory on the market. Prices really stagnating. They're kind of flat right now as well, although they've jumped a little bit since last month. For sellers, it's not the frenzy of 2021 or the beginning of 2022, but strong and properly marketed listings are still performing. For buyers, there's more selection, less urgency, and a little bit more room to breathe. So if there's something you should be paying attention to if you're buying or selling, it's inventory. Inventory levels, the number of homes that are on the market is climbing. We ended April with almost 2,000 homes on the market, and it's the highest inventory levels that we've seen for this time of the year in a decade. So if we compare active listings and inventory levels, active listings are up almost 40% year over year. So there's way more selection for buyers out there and way more competition if you're a seller. Now, lastly, looking at months of inventory, we've got almost 4 months of inventory. So that's up quite a bit, over 50% if we're comparing to last year at this particular time. Breaking down months of inventory by property type, condos are at 8 months of inventory. That means it would take 8 months to sell off the current condos that are listed at the current rate that they are selling every month. Townhomes are approaching 5 months of inventory, which is quite a lot. And detached homes are hovering just under 3 months of inventory, which is a relatively balanced market in that position. Here's what you actually need to know in this market. Q1 of this year was quite stagnant, sideways, with a lot of uncertainty with the US, with our election. We've got at least a result, whether you agree with it or not. It'll allow people to feel a sense of maybe relief or a bit more certainty, although others are gonna feel the opposite of that. But I think overall, it's getting rid of the elephant in the room. We kind of know what direction we're moving in, whether you agree with it or not. This affects the market because with uncertainty, people tend to freeze up. Getting a little bit of certainty back is great, although we're still hovering with our dynamics with the US, which is still gonna be kind of floating for the next foreseeable future. If you're selling in this market, it is vital to focus on what you can control. The market is out of your hands. If you have to sell in this market, you have to focus on these 3 things. The approach, you need to prepare your home for sale to optimize the sale process. You can try to deny that. This is not 2021, this is not 2022, where a monkey could list a house and sell the house because the buyer demand was so high. There's way more inventory levels. There's a lot more competition, which you have no control over. You can only control how your home is positioned with buyers choosing 1, 2, 3, 5 homes that they can compare in comparison to yours. So how your home shows is important. Declutter it, stage it, paint it. Staging is optional. If you have nice furniture, or if you have stuff that works, that can go. But definitely painting is something that has the highest ROI. If you have dark colors or maybe passé colors that were maybe in trend 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it might make sense to get a fresh coat of paint in your home just to brighten things up, make things look neutral. So that covers preparation. Then you need to have the right approach. Who are you working with in this market? It is vital to have the right person in your corner. You have to have someone with the right plan, the right advertising and exposure and reach, the right client base, and the right experience to navigate this unprecedented time in the market. If you're gonna fail on any of these, you're gonna severely limit your success of selling your home in this market. It can still sell, but can you get maybe 20,000 or 50,000 more or 100,000 more, depending on at what price point you're at? That all depends on who you work with. Do they have the right plan? And lastly, and most importantly, is pricing and pricing strategy. If you're gonna overprice your home, buyers have way too much selection. They're not even gonna waste their time trying to negotiate with you if you appear to be unreasonable. Sorry folks, this is a blunt take, but I'm not trying to be rude about it. At the end of the day, you need to focus on what is selling in the last 1, 2, 3, 5 months. You can't be focusing on what the neighbors in your neighborhood are listing their home at. Many of those homes are not selling. So we've got 4 months of inventory right now. So basically only 1 out of 4 homes will sell each month. So that puts things in perspective. You have to dial everything in and get it airtight. That's what you have control over. If you're gonna be overpriced, you're gonna waste critical time on the market at the beginning of your listing period. The first 2, 3, 4 weeks is really when you should be selling your home. That's where you have maximum attention. If you're at the wrong number, you're dissuading buyers from even approaching you or even trying to submit an offer because you appear to be unreasonable. So dialing that pricing correctly and expectation is vital. Alternatively, there's another subsection of that is how are you pricing? Are you pricing to sell or are you underpricing the property by 10 to 20%, putting it on the market and allowing it to have an offer date where you'll review multiple offers at that point. That is another strategy that can work in certain subsections and neighborhoods and price point. Doesn't work for everything and it could also fail. You'll see some listings hit the market at a low price that looks really low and then all of a sudden a week later they don't sell or the seller has unrealistic expectations and then they get repriced at a higher price and they're open to offers at any time. That does happen and it is common. So get the right plan, get the right goods, get the right approach, and get the right person in your corner to help you navigate to get your home sold in this market. Buyers, you guys are in a more comfortable position right now. A lot more inventory, things are more lax in some sense. The homes that are nice, that are presented well, that are priced correctly, those homes are still moving. It's still a hot market in that segment. It's kind of a mixed bag. If you look at 500 listings, maybe 100 of them are gonna be priced correctly, maybe 150 are priced correctly. They're gonna move fairly quick. The other 3/4 of them are gonna be priced too high. They're not prepared correctly. The price doesn't reflect the condition of the home. So it creates a very confusing dynamic if you're a buyer without knowledge of the market. You need to have someone in your corner that understands, hey, these are the sales and what has actually sold recently. That home is 10% too high. That home's 15% too high. That home's just right. Or that home's been on the market, but it looks like the seller might have some flexibility because they've dropped their price a little bit. You can go after these properties and be able to negotiate more. A home that's freshly on the market, freshly priced, and priced correctly is gonna move quickly. You're not gonna have much leverage to negotiate with a seller like that. So the key in this market is not to get confused with the conflicting data and prices that are out there, to have someone that knows the value to ensure that you're not gonna overpay for a home and that you can get the correct and the perfect terms and conditions that'll benefit you. At the end of the day, the buyer's agent is working for you. They're not working for the seller, they're working for you. So who you work with matters. Okay, so let's run out the market for the next 3 to 6 months if you're buying or selling. Typically, a lot of volume is sold in the spring market. Currently, we're in May now when we're recording this video. So we're getting to that peak of the spring market. We're probably gonna have another month to maybe 2 months max. Things tend to soften up historically as we get into June and July. August, things really soften up in terms of volume of transactions. Most buyers that are looking to buy to purchase for school time, they're purchasing usually 45 to 90 days before school starts. So as things thin out in the summer, there's less transactions that are happening. People are going away for vacations, kids are off at school, etc., etc. So you have an opportunity now. If you're selling, the next 2 months are going to be a decent time. Everything's blossoming and blooming now. Grass is green. If you have a nice lot, this is the time to think of that. If you're thinking of selling in the fall and maybe timing isn't really right now for the summer, but you do want to get your home presented correctly, let's say you're listing in the fall or in the winter, connect with me. We can do a photo shoot and a video shoot in the summer when everything's blossomed, gardens look good, pool looks great. We can get that, we can put into our library and save it so when we're listing your home later this year or in the winter, we've got all those great shots for you. And that's a little life hack that I utilize with my clients. Buyers, you're gonna have a lot more of a slower market as we get into the summer. So if you're looking for deals, that'll be the time where probably you'll get some more. Typically when we're getting into the summertime, it is slower. There might be some people that in the spring overpriced their home too much and now time's running out for them. They might be closing on another property. They might be waiting for a new construction home to be built. They had a lot of time. They chose the wrong approach, the wrong strategy. Now time's running out. So you might be able to secure the right deal for you. Every property is different. Every scenario is different. Some people are stubborn. They don't want to drop their price, or if they get their price, then they'll sell. And if they don't, they don't. So that's something to navigate with your agent. So these are the things. Then we're going to have summertime, more of a chill market. And then we'll have a secondary, I call it baby spring in the fall, usually mid-September to mid to end of November. Then things kind of soften up for the holidays. Okay, specific dates to look out for right now are the next interest rate announcement is gonna be June 4th. We'll see what the Bank of Canada does. I think that's gonna be heavily weighted on how Mr. Carney's dynamic is gonna go with Mr. Trump, and we'll see what sort of tariffs and arrangements are gonna be negotiated in the next month or so. I don't know, we'll see. They've been reluctant to drop any rates right now. I think they'll probably hold out unless if things get a bit catastrophic right now. We'll see what happens. But let me know in the comments what you think. Are they gonna lower the rates? Are they gonna keep them the same? Are they gonna raise them? And what do you think about the market? Is it gonna be flat for the rest of the year, or are we gonna see prices go up significantly in the fall? Folks, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, subscribe. We'll see you guys next month. Take care. Peace out.